Building muscle was actually incredibly simple, but the fitness industry has convinced people they need 20 exercises and the perfect split. I'm going to show you the simplest program that you can run to build size and strength. It takes less time than almost every workout you'll see online, and the reason it works has nothing to do with perfect exercises, sets, or reps. Instead of focusing on endless exercises, we focus all our effort into a few high-stimulus compound movements. After a decade of coaching, I found this approach works for nearly everyone and often better than much more complicated approaches. And if you do this correctly, you'll be able to use this general structure and repeat it for years without getting bored and without sacrificing gains. So here is a practical example. Just don't copy it exactly. We need a few rolls to keep progressing for years. And notice I added another isolation upper body lift with the lateral raises and again on the lower day with the hip hinge. For these, pick an area you want to improve or focus on. Since you are supersetting, it doesn't take much extra time, and it gives you the ability to focus on an area, whereas with the compounds, you're going to train everything more or less the same. Check out our full video on supersets to learn more about those. Now here's the magic to get this to work for years, not months. When progress stalls, we rotate the stimulus. Start with 4 hard sets in the 10 to 15 rep range. Over the next 4 to 8 weeks, build volume. Aim to add reps or weight each week, staying in the rep range. And add sets up to a max of 8 per exercise if you're recovering between workouts. Once progress stalls for 2 weeks with volume, take a deload week and see our video on those in the card above. Then add 5 to 10% of the load and drop down to 4 sets of 8 reps. Now focus on building up the weight weekly, adding 5 to 10 pounds more so than adding sets or reps. If your main goal is strength, then you can drop the reps further, down to as low as 3 per set. If not, when progress stalls here, jump straight back to higher reps. When you switch back to the higher volumes, change at least some of the exercises for a different stimulus. So you might switch from bench press to dumbbell bench press or pull-ups to chin-ups. A small change that works the same muscle groups but in a slightly different way. Just make sure when you switch, you start with way less than you think. If you just finished heavy sets of 3 and you're going up to sets of 15, along with changing the exercises, 2 sets and less weight than you think will leave you insanely sore. Then slowly build up the volume and loads. You'll adapt quickly. Here's the quick roll sheet. Focus on adding reps in higher volume phases and weight in the strength blocks. Add a set in higher volume phases if you're recovering well between workouts. On average, switch rep ranges every 6 to 8 weeks, but you can go longer if you're still progressing. After every cycle of higher and lower volumes, switch exercises. If you don't want to write all this down, I've put the entire program, the progression rules, exercise substitutions, and some bonus tips in a free PDF below. The best results come from consistency and effort, not a secret program. If you want to expand beyond this program, check out our Creating a Program playlist and keep an eye out for our ultimate muscle building guide coming soon.